Everyone, this is Greg from Greg's Whiskey Guide, aka Grégoire from Paris, France. Welcome if you're new to the channel, and welcome if you're old to the channel. Bonjour tout le monde, and what do we say in French in this circumstances? First video of the year, bonne année. Bonne année, happy new year to everyone all over the world watching my channel. Just a few things before I start. This will be a full English video. I did a few French. J'ai parlé un peu en français dans ma précédente vidéo et j'en reparlerai. So basically, I'm gonna tell you what to expect this year in my channel. Hopefully I can make it all this year, so there is more than what I have to announce you, and I might not say everything because I want to be able to stick to what I announce you the more I can. What do I have in my glass to celebrate? I will tell you a bit more later on. It's something special, obviously, at this time of the year. Now, before I start, I would like to thank you again for your support, whether you're from the French community or the English-speaking community. I do appreciate it a lot, especially the likes, the comments, and the fact when you're clicking the notification to all notifications, you can be aware of what I'm doing. For those who don't have Instagram, my Instagram handle is Greg's Whiskey Guide in one word, with no other sign after it, because there are one counterfeit, unfortunately, account that's still not blocked. For those who don't have my Instagram, when I consider this something important, I do post the same or more or less the same things, image and review, for instance, on my community page of YouTube. So please check out my community page on YouTube. Also about your support, there's still something going on and not solved yet, is how I can, despite the generosity of some of you who did send me samples or help me get others, despite the generosity, considering what I have to bring you for content, new content, this is not enough to cover all my whiskey expenses, as you might figure out. So I still wonder what's the best formula. I'm not going to bother you a long time for that, because Patreon, I cannot promise you more videos than I do. It's already difficult for me to keep up. That's why I said I will do videos every, let's say, 2 weeks, except from time to time more or less videos a month. There's recently my pal Toby from Whiskey Shared, I recommend this channel, by the way, who launched buy me a coffee option. I think this might be interesting, so I'm gonna study that. If you have other ideas of how you could support me, if you wish to, of course, financially, let me know. That's it for the things that might annoy you, some of you. So what to expect? There's a lot of things. I did recently a poll for the audience on YouTube and Instagram. Thanks for participating. Now the next poll I'm gonna do, I won't be going on Instagram for the poll, just relying on it because it was a bit complicated to calculate, so it will be 100% YouTube poll. Not sure yet about the topic, but I wanted to reassure you, for those who were expecting reviews of the choices that were not finally the first ones, I will still review it, so you will see this beauty, the Caol Ila Palo Cortado finish from Cadenhead, review of this year. And you will also see, and it is part of also of another topic I will reveal to you, of course, the Port Charlotte 10 years old, one of my spoiler highlights of the year. Talking about highlights of the year, I'm working hard to bring you something a bit different, maybe than other proposals that are popping up everywhere, because I want to do it my own, and also because I have some issues covering everything, especially Scotch whiskey wise, which has been less tasted this year than the two, maybe even last year was almost the same. There's a reason for that, the boom in French whiskey, etc. I'm gonna speak to you about it later on. That said, there are still 3 or 4 out of the 5, I think, shows in which I tried quite some, so I can do something called my highlights of the year. I don't want to release it too soon because I'm still expecting to receive a few samples, plus I also wait for 1 or 2 more bottles to fit in the show, in order to show you and not only show you pictures. What I can reveal to you already, because I think I'll probably record this around mid-January or end of January maximum, let's say, because I really want to give you the most things possible regarding the categories. I will have, if it doesn't change, I will have 16 categories, and it will not cover only whiskey. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm interested in way more things than whiskey, even if whiskey is the main thing, of course, for me, since several decades, but I cannot forget the other spirits. For instance, I will give you my gin of the year, because I did try around 80 gins this year, so I think it's quite enough to give you a perspective. Of course, I will do a special gins video. There will be some more gin to present to you than the ones I showed you in the previous videos, plus my top 10 gins. Talking about top 10 gins, spoiler, I recently bought for my collection 2 beautiful gins that are most probably, it's not a big spoiler, gonna enter in the top 10. This Indian craft gin, Chalsheimer, the gold edition. The regular one is already very good, and I entered also this magnificent German Monkey 47 gin. So I will give you my thoughts about that. So yeah, the categories. So there will be also Armagnac, Cognac, best tasting experience this year, which I will distinguish from best. So yeah, best tasting experience. This means whiskey tasted this year, but which is not from this year and not necessarily from the year before. While I will of course tell you my best tasting experience of this year, bottled this year or exceptionally last year, if it's the first time I try it, for instance. Also we'll cover world whiskies in several sections. Also we'll do best whiskey design, in my opinion. I'm not a designer, but I did artistic studies, in fine arts, etc. So I think I can have my say. Best distillery core range offer, Scottish distillery, best value for money. So you almost have it. Rum also. So I think it could be interesting, even if there are other people who are doing that. Of course, I'm not the first one. Now, what else? So I covered this. Yeah, lots of things to tell you, so I make sure. Yeah, new in collection. So new in collection, it's a series I started this year that seems to be a bit popular, relatively. So I will do a 3rd episode, not in December obviously, because we're now in January, but mid or end January, we'll see, if not already said. French whiskey, a lot of people dialogue back and forth with me on several different channels, chat and on mine. There's a lot of people talking about it, and I did French language video, but there's a big demand more or less, okay, on English language videos about French whiskey. So French whiskey, of course, will be covered, and especially I did enter this beautiful bottle of Armagnac, 15 years old. Armagnac is the oldest French distillery doing whiskey professionally, seriously, let's say, in France, back to 1983 for the founding of the company, and 1998 for their own distillate to be out in a single malt form like this. But for those who don't know well French whiskey, considering also that online shops and physical shops like the Whiskey Exchange did have now, I'm not working for them, but they have now around 40 different French whiskies to present to you. In UK, if you're in UK, if you're in other countries, I know that in north of Europe, for instance, you can find several choices as well. Not enough, of course. Bear in mind that the French boom the boom in French whiskey is relatively recent. So we expect more export possibilities in the future. I will tell you more about that in the specific topic. But for instance, one of the oldest also distilleries, I didn't talk a lot because I was waiting for bottles that would satisfy me more than what they did before, is this new parcellaire parcel single farm, if you like, Roseliers from the east of France. Les Chauffours is the name of the parcel, recently opened, and another farm to glass distillery, Hautefeuille, in north of France, very interesting as well, craft as you can get. Also, while we're at it, I will do a French live show, but you're allowed to ask question in English if you like, with this TOS distillery doing this Artesia single malt whiskey, which is one of the most promising today in my opinion. This is a white port single cask, beautiful stuff at 55% ABV. And that's it for French whiskey. What else? New in collection, yeah, of course. We'll speak to you about world whiskey. So one of the most recently acquired, finally, I did try some samples of Weller, but it's the first bottle I manage, as difficult as it's as unbelievable as it seems. Some of you have this every day on their shelves, on the shop shelves, and me no. So it was one of the rare time I could get this. It's 45% ABV, so it's a wheated bourbon, but it's yet still called a straight bourbon. So minimum 51% rye and wheat, one of the two. What else? World whiskey wise, you will also hear about this beautiful Rampur Indian whiskey, recently acquired. Single cask, not sure, but cask strength, a very limited release. What else? Yeah, blends. I forgot to speak to you about blends. So Dewars, I have a sample to cover and two or three different bottles to try. 3 in fact. Might do other things about blends because I'm late to cover other things than the big names, for instance. New in collection, this is absolutely mandatory if you haven't seen it. If you love sherried whiskies and rye whiskey, you have to see my Millstone video review, because yes, it was samples and I'm expecting others to confirm my opinion, more recent samples, but come on, wow, it's one of the revelations of the year. So Millstone, the Dutch whiskey, you're gonna hear about it in my channel for sure in 2024. Also, while we're on world whiskies, Miyagikyo, I did a full 3 videos review about Yoichi, and I forgot in the same time to do the Miyagikyo one with the current no-age statement. They will have also the previous no-age statement, plus the 10 years old, the old one, of course, collector's item now. Even more collectors, you will have a 19 years old single cask, which is a stunner. And it's still not what's in my glass. I'll keep you a bit more suspense if you don't mind. World whiskey wise, of course, I'm gonna do a review of at least 3 of those. Filey Bay, a fantastic single malt from the Spirit of Yorkshire in the east of England distillery. This is a sherry cask reserve batch 3. I recently opened. Beautiful stuff. Let me put those here so I don't forget. Yeah, one more. I have to get me the double cask of Ramper as well. Well, let me put that here as a kind of a... Yeah, so you know you're in a French channel. Though I have to give credit to some foreign channels to cover this as well. Thanks to be interested in... especially Leon from Germany, also Jason, both for Germany, who did cover recently Armagnac. Now, something different. Recently, our phenomenal young talent and very special, also one of the best editors of whiskey videos, Jeff Whiskey. Jeff did launch a challenge which was called Do Scotch Whiskey Regions Matter? 1 bottle per region challenge. I wasn't challenged by anyone, but he said if you feel like doing something. Yes, I felt like doing something, so I'm gonna give you my take on it with a kind of wink and a bit of twisting the thing. So no more spoiler, but I'm gonna do a special version of this. I think nobody else will do, because you will understand why. It's not I showed you this, but this also means, let me put that on the side. This is also because I'm gonna do an OU Bunnahabhain, but also a Bruichladdich overview of my collection. I do have several ones. Here's one of them. Islay Barley 2010. Several casks as well involved in this. So this is it. Talisker, forgot to put a Talisker on the table. I have a lot of Taliskers in my collection. I want to do some comparison between things you can find now and you can find maybe in auction, not too expensive. Plus there will be some exceptional ones, of course. The 18, the 20, and an independent, which is beautiful. Sample sessions. I'm late to come back to sample sessions, so we'll do friendly, like I said, sample sessions, but also maybe some pro press sample sessions might be sent. Won't tell you which ones before I receive them, because as usual I tell the companies if they want to have my opinion, they have to accept that if I don't like the samples, I will not review them. If there's a big default, a big problem with them, I prefer not to cover them. Of course, if I'm asked questions about them, I will answer to the people. So they have to accept this, and also other conditions I already told you. So then I can feel free to say whatever I want about them, as usual, believe me or not. Talking about samples, recently had a private chat with Menno from Multimission. Hey, Happy New Year, Menno. And we decided to do what I call a double blind session. We will have 3 samples each blind, and we'll go back and forth during the live show. Probably in the first half of the year, maybe into 1-2 months, 3, we'll see. when everyone is available, and so we'll have something funny to for the new year, each one tasting whiskies from the other, because usually I do only one side. I think it was interesting to do the other side. Also, usually not many people challenge me for blind tastings, and almost no one, so it's more friendly, send things every now and then, not necessarily public. Other things, yeah, I have a very special topic I don't want to give up already, because it's a surprise I will do for a good friend of mine. I usually prepare for the new year a set of 6, 7, 8 maximum samples, all blind, and I like to present this person some special journey with a progression in the tasting, and also something to learn, something very educational, because it's not someone who's specialized in whiskey, not a connoisseur, but refined palate nevertheless. This gave me the idea for, I think, a quite interesting video, which I will release this year. I have enough whiskies for this specific topic to cover it, especially recently. What else? Special cognac. I owe you an English also. Big demand to learn more. Also examples of how it's done in different styles. Armagnac. I have one on the table. It's a Delors 2000. This one is also unadulterated and bottled. I think it's cask strength. Yes, at 48.1 ABV. Could be interesting. It starts now to open up very nicely. I was a bit worried in the beginning. Now, what do I have in my glass? It's something I cannot review, because unfortunately there was some evaporation from the... It's a mini bottle. What a shame. It's a mini bottle I was given some years ago, probably 2016, along with I put it in a case with three other. I was given another, and I had 2 other I did purchase myself. For some reason the 2 cask strength ones are intact, I think, so I sealed them. The 1990 vintage seemed to be okay, so I also wrapped it. But the most precious one, oh my god, it did lose almost 1 centiliter, so I think there's a lot of OBA in there. I cannot really review it. I will just give you a few impressions as also a Happy New Year dram. Oh my god. And I will tell you what it is. There's some characteristic note from the distillery, can you guess? Such as black tea, bit of mint tea, Earl Grey. There's something very slightly coastal. It's a coastal distillery. And yeah, it's not young. There's some tinned fruits en conserve in French, poached with syrup, peach, apricot. Not really smoke. I don't feel really smoke, maybe tiny hint. So it's not a review, it's just first impressions. I just tasted once to see when I opened, and I saw the seal intact visually, but with too much air going on, coming in. Let's go on the palate and I will tell you what it is. Wow. Some nice dark caramel in it. But there's something that seems to be lost. What's the ABV? Oh, 42.5, that's why. Guess what it is? What a shame. Old Paltony, 35 years old. Official mini. And it's almost destroyed by the condition I have here home, unfortunately. And honestly, I don't understand how some minis are leaking, not leaking in the sense it was stored vertically, but are not reliable, and some others are intact after 10 years. So I did put 2 drops, but maybe I shouldn't. 42.5, that's also why it's not in good condition. Yeah, it's getting too green and it's too light. But yeah, it's still a special dram. I might put that in the bottle of the 12, as sometimes I do, to maybe try to revive it, enhance it. I don't know, but it's a shame. Yeah, it has lost most of its interest. It's life. Before I say bye-bye, sometimes I let samples, like you can see, too much in my cupboard because I have a lot of bottles and not enough time to taste everything, and I don't taste every day whiskey and alcohol. But there's also some special things that I should not wait too long to open. One of them is this Springbank, 13 years old, 56.9. How is this possible? It is because I went in a show to work when I was working for Sullivan's Cove to be their brand ambassador for just a few missions in France and one in Belgium, Spirit in the Sky. Again, a wink to Menno and Gert, and Mark Dermul also, if he watches. I'm not sure, but what is it? It is a special 186 bottles only from a bourbon cask, single cask, for the Nectar Belgium and for the Spirit in the Sky Festival. This was not signed because I didn't have the time to showing, but I was sitting exactly in front of Springbank stand in the show, and I had the big opportunity to have a dinner with all the participants, of course, but I was just beside him, Frank McCarty, big man, who's now taking care of distilleries way remote from Scotland, but supposed to be retired, but they never retired. Master distiller, manager, took care of so many distilleries. Last one was Kilkerran, and previous one was Springbank. Lots of stories told. I have an interview in French on the website. I talk a lot about him, so you'll hear again about him. So one of the bottles special bottles I will open this year. Like I said, pure, in my memory, pure coconut juice and vanilla, something like that. Hope you like it. Hope you're well. Wish you the best for this year, and see you very soon. Bye bye, my friends. Hope you're all well and having some nice drams in your glasses for the new year. Bye bye.